Hello everyone, welcome back to another forecast. Now in today's forecast, we're going to be going over a potential system that will be impacting your Christmas Eve travel and even your Christmas Day travel. And so that's what we'll be going over in this forecast. Now first here, we're going to start off with the National Weather Service current hazards and advisory displays. Now in eastern Montana and western North Dakota, we are going to be seeing some winter weather advisories today. And this will actually be in place for tomorrow and late tonight, where we're going to be seeing some snow moving through. And then eventually we'll be supplying the snowfall for our event that we're going over in today's forecast. Now, additionally, we do have some scattered winter weather advisories throughout western Wyoming as well. And essentially what these winter weather advisories will do is it's basically being issued to signal that some minor winter weather travel conditions will be in place there. So take your proper precautions. Take a few more minutes if you guys need to get to work and whatnot. I'm assuming not very many people are working over the holiday season, but you never know. So if you guys do have to get out to work, or if you guys have an emergency and have to get out, take a little bit more time to get to wherever your destination is, because travel could be a little tricky there. Now, as we go on to the temperatures for this system, this is where we'll start off with this forecast. We see on the 22nd, so this is today, later in the day, we do see some very cold conditions into the interior Northeast, where we're seeing the teens and even single digits for many. As we get into portions of Maine, you're talking possibly 2 degrees. So definitely some very cold conditions today, and this will set up your road conditions to really deteriorate as we go through tomorrow and into the 24th, where you're going to be seeing a lot of snow ripping through these areas. And once again, these cold conditions right now that we see will allow for the snowfall to accumulate. So as we go through the overnight hours into Monday, we're still seeing teens and single digits, possibly once again, maybe getting close to 0 in some areas. We see 1 degree Fahrenheit into portions of western Maine. Now, as we move through the 23rd, we can still see once again some pretty cold temperatures. It will warm up though, getting into the mid-20s possibly, but definitely still well cold enough for a lot of this to stick. And those cold temperatures really will not go anywhere until as we get into the later portion of December, into the 29th or 30th. Thus, all the snow that'll fall will be accumulating and will be sticking for some time. It could even additionally cause some impacts beyond Christmas as you guys are trying to get home. The snow will still be on the ground. So to kind of show you what this will look like and the overall setup for this system, as we go into later overnight tonight, we do see some ice and some snow breaking out into portions of North Dakota. That's where we do have our winter weather advisory issued for today. And that's going to be for what's coming in tonight. Now, as we move this on through the overnight hours, we see right around Monday morning, we start to see some snow developing within Green Bay, Wisconsin, upwards through portions of the UP of Michigan. This will be associated with the low air pressure system back into Minnesota. Now, as we move this on through the 24th, around Tuesday morning on your Christmas Eve, we see some very heavy snow ongoing into portions of Michigan, even extreme northern portions of Ohio. Getting into the interior Northeast and the interior portions of New York, we see some very heavy snow ongoing into the early morning hours of your Christmas Eve. And this will kind of linger around throughout most of your Christmas Eve. And then we start to see maybe a little bit of a severe threat, and we'll be discussing that later in this forecast. But that's kind of our setup for this system. It'll move through right around the early morning hours of the 24th for a lot of areas, and then kind of linger around throughout the evening hours in terms of light snowfall. You could still see some wraparound moisture from this because this low is back off into portions of the Atlantic over here. The low air pressure systems have a counterclockwise spin, so we could see some of this moisture getting thrown back around while this low is exiting, and so that's something that we're going to have to monitor as well. So that's kind of the setup for this system. Nothing really to write home about, but definitely the timing that this system will be kind of following will allow for some major travel impacts out of this. Now, as we move through, kind of zooming this in on the Northeast, this is early morning on the 24th. We do see, once again, snow unfolding into especially eastern Michigan, getting into northern Ohio as well, kind of mixing in there. But definitely some very heavy snow unfolding into upstate New York. We see the interior portions right through around Watertown down to Buffalo through Erie, upwards to Cleveland. We're seeing some very heavy snow falling in this area, and it'll fall at a pretty good clip. And once again, given the temperatures that we saw on the temperature models, all of this will be accumulating, and this will be pretty good snowfall. Now, in terms of the 10-to-1 snow-to-liquid ratio, Essentially, what the 10-to-1 snow-to-liquid ratio is for every 1 inch of rain, you get 10 inches of snow. Now, this is given that your temperature is at 32 degrees at the normal freezing point. Our temperatures will be well below freezing, so we're talking anywhere from the teens here, which could make our snow-to-liquid ratio go from about 10 to 1 to around 20 to 1, maybe more likely 15 to 1. And what this will do essentially is for the same amount of precipitation, 1 inch of liquid equivalent precipitation, you're seeing a lot more snow out of that given the cold temperatures. So essentially you're squeezing a lot more snow out of the atmosphere there, and that's what we're seeing in this system. So it's not necessarily, a huge system, but given the cold temperatures, our ratios will really rise, and we'll see a lot more snowfall out of this than what we would be seeing if this was closer to 32 degrees. So that eventually, once again, moves through. We might see a little bit of a mixing as we get into the later hours of the 24th into portions of, let's say, Maryland. That'll eventually even get out to portions of maybe even coastal Jersey before it eventually kind of fizzles out. Now, in terms of the snowfall potential for this, we're looking at some pretty hefty amounts. We see, especially for portions of Michigan, where we can actually go ahead and zoom in here. We're seeing upwards of 5 to 6 inches of snow, especially for northern Michigan here. We see upwards of maybe 6 to 8 inches in isolated counties here. Now, overall, though, let's say go ahead and talk about some highly populated areas. Detroit, maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow. Traverse City, 2 to 3 inches of snow. Alpena, once again, don't know if I pronounced that correctly, probably anywhere from like 3 to 6, maybe isolated areas of 7 inches of snow. North central Michigan there, once again, possibly upwards of 6 to 7 inches of snow. Lansing, Michigan, maybe an inch of snow. Grand Rapids, maybe a half an inch to an inch. As we move on to New York, we're going to be seeing a lot of snow as well, especially within portions of the upstate New York and especially the interior portions of New York. We're talking Watertown, 2 to 4 inches of snow. Syracuse, 2 to 4. As you get north, you're looking at probably closer to 3 to 5. Jamestown, 1 to 2 inches of snow. Same for Buffalo. Now, once again, I want to emphasize this is not crazy snowfall amounts, but given the time frame that this will all happen in, this will definitely be causing some pretty significant impacts, because I know for sure I have a couple of friends who are going up to New York for Christmas, and where I'm from, we're not really equipped for the snow. So them driving back around this time frame will definitely give them some tricky travel, especially once again because most people aren't used to traveling in the snow, especially from areas farther south. So this will be something definitely very interesting to watch out for. Now, additionally with this, we do have a severe threat. It's a very marginal severe threat, and we can actually go ahead and discuss this. It kind of lies into portions of southeastern Texas over here. Now, what we're going to be seeing, we're going to go ahead and move this into the models. It's really not a huge threat. We see kind of just isolated heavy precipitation cells moving through on your Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. This won't be a huge threat. You can really see, we're not really seeing a defiant area of where this will be. It's kind of really scattered, and this could be a hit or miss situation. But definitely, if you have a cell developed down here, it could possibly become severe. So definitely monitor that through your Christmas Eve into your Christmas Day. That'll about do it for this forecast, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.